welcome to my channel. This is Desiree Bird with birdstone.com, and I wanted to talk today about riveting. I actually had a couple people ask me how to do it, and it's pretty simple, and I thought I'd show you how. So first I want to talk about why you'd want to use rivets over soldering, which is you're not using any heat. So anytime you have a piece that you want to preserve but you still want to attach it to something, but if you heated it, it would change the appearance, then you would use a rivet. So let me just show you, for example. I have this brass piece here that you can see it's got a really cool texture, and I don't want to lose that. And if I were to attach something to it with the heat, I would lose all this, and then I would have to try to repolish, and same thing goes for this piece here. This is actually let's see if I can get it to focus, a piece of copper that I flame painted. So it's got that nice color in it. I don't know if you can see. Well, it doesn't want to focus. There we go. So you can see it's got this nice color. I want to preserve these colors, but you know, let's say I'd like to attach these two together. So what I'm going to do is put a rivet in the center of these two. So the first thing you need to do that is a hole, obviously. And the other thing that you need is wire. I've got copper wire up here in different gauges, and I'm probably going to either use this 16 gauge here or this 14 gauge here, depending on, you know, how big I want to make the hole. So and you can buy these spools from Rio Grande, 1 pound spools. I think they're 20 bucks or something. I don't remember the exact cost. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my drill press. So I have to put my hair up. Always put your hair back when you're working with power tools. It's really just a matter of safety. I should probably wear goggles and the whole nine, but I don't. My press, and I'm gonna actually center punch the top piece to guide the drill bit. Roughly in the middle. And it just puts a little mark right there to guide the drill bit in. I don't have to do the bottom because the drill bit's already going to be guided down on this. So, and you want to use a piece of wood behind it so when the drill bit goes through, it's not hitting metal. You know, common sense. I usually like to line up the bit with the where I put the punch before I turn it on. Now everything is in place. Turn it on. Just go down slowly. That's it. Really, really simple. Now they've both got a hole. There's the hole. There's the hole. So now I'm going to work on the rivet, because the rivet is going to pass through these two holes and hold the pieces together. So let me explain what a rivet is and how it works. And I am going to end up using, no, not 16. I'll be using 18. Ah, it went blurry. Ah, I'm back. Okay. So you can see that the wire passes just perfectly through the hole. If you have a couple millimeters of give, if the hole's just slightly bigger, that's okay. But you don't want too much, because what you're going to do is the end of the wire is going to mushroom out when you hammer it down. And that's going to create the catch that won't pass through the hole. That's what's going to cause the rivet to hold in place. So make sure this fits. Very good. Okay. So now I'm going to take a piece of wire and trim it off with my flush cutters. Doesn't need to be too long. I'm only going to be using a fraction of even this. So, you know, make sure both ends are trimmed flush. And then it's going to go into some vice grips. This is the key here for how I do my rivets. Some people use a vise, some people use, you know, different things, but so I'm going to capture this. You don't want to set the vice grips too tight because it'll smash the wire. You just want it tight enough to hold it firmly in place. It's going to leave a little bit of a mark. That doesn't matter because that part's going to be hidden within where it's being held. So as you can see, I've got the wire and the vice grips. This is actually too long. I could start hammering now, but what's going to happen if I do that is it's going to bend the wire. So I trim. You don't need much, maybe 2 millimeters. Trim it down so it's about like that, okay? And then take, and you're gonna usually set it down, and you just start hammering out like this. Notice I'm oh, you can't see, can you? I'm sorry. Let's go down here where I'm at here. Okay, so I'm using kind of a sideways motion as I go down. What I'm doing is I'm actually drawing out the wire to make like a nail head. So that looks good. Take it out. Very nice. So it's actually a little, oh, there we go. Okay. So it's actually a little bit wonky. That's okay, because when I put it through, I'm going to do the same thing now. I'll show you. I'm going to fit it together. No, I'm not. Edit this out. There we go. I got it. I just can't see. Getting old. Okay. Now, so you can see that it's catching. I can pull and pull and pull. It's not going to come through the hole now because I've created that mushroomed out area. Similar to when you're hitting a metal stamp over and over and over. After years of use, it's going to mushroom out. Same concept with a tiny little piece of wire. And again here, fitting it on. Okay. Same thing. Trim the piece. I'm going to trim it just so there's like 2 millimeters of open wire. That actually might even be a little too much. Okay. Now, same thing, I'm going to place my piece down here, and because this is curved, I'm probably going to actually use, no, actually no, I'm going to use this smaller flat one because I don't want to flatten out I want it to curve up a bit. Same thing, I'm just kind of hammering it down. Just pay attention that you're striking true. Yeah, that looks good. Ball in your ball peen. There we go. Just wanted to flatten that out. So now you can see, maybe, there we go, the rivets in place on both sides. They're mostly flush. What I would do at this point is just polish off the edges on that little rivet there, just to smooth it out. And that's it. Now I can take and I could rivet this to something else. I could rivet it to like a copper cuff. I could poke a hole for a pendant. You know, rivets are an extremely useful tool, or technique, not tool, for attaching metal together, or metal to leather, or if you want moving parts like this. This was done with a rivet. Pretty cool. Another reason I use the rivet here is I have this, you know, the sealed alcohol inks on the back side. There's no way I could solder this to anything, you know, without it being ruined. So, and really that's about it. You don't want to use anything smaller than 20 gauge wire, but you could go all the way up to 14 or even 12 if you wanted a very large rivet. Just make sure that your hole matches the wire size, and that's it. You don't really need a special hammer, a chasing hammer, a ball peen. Anything will do. It's about striking true and making sure that you're flaring out the ends of that wire. So, all right, well, I hope this helps, and this has been another metal smithing moment with Desiree Bird of birdstone.com.